everybody, it's Chef Bedard from the Stephanie Inn Dining Room in Cannon Beach. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to be making our signature cookie recipe. One of the highlights of the Stephanie Inn is our fresh baked cookies, and we do quite a few different flavors, but the one that we came up as our signature is a triple chocolate toffee cookie. Nice and decadent and very indulgent, just like the Stephanie Inn is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of softened butter. We're going to add that into our mixer. And then we're also going to add a little bit of sugar. We're going to use brown sugar and white sugar. And we're going to do what we call creaming the butter and the sugar. And what that actually is doing, it's combining the sugar and the butter together, but as we mix it, it actually kind of dissolves the sugar into the butter, and it creates this really nice kind of paste, and it keeps the cookies from being sugary and grainy. So we're just going to let that kind of mix here for a minute or two so it becomes nice and fluffy and gets all those sugars dissolved. Okay, now that we've got that creamed and mixed together, we're going to add in some of our wet ingredients. We have three farm fresh eggs we're going to add into there. Also a little bit of vanilla. And we're going to turn this on and mix these together as well. We want those to get really nice and incorporated and really nice and mixed thoroughly. This is a great recipe for the whole family. Everybody can do this recipe. I've got a 4-year-old boy, and he likes to get in here and make cookies with me and Mom all the time. And it's just fun to get people starting to be excited about food and cook food when they're really young, and just get them excited about eating good, healthy, fun food. Now we've got those all mixed together really well, we're going to add in a little bit of baking soda. That's going to help leaven them a little bit. And then a little bit of Jacobson's kosher salt. Even though we're doing a sweet dish, we always like to add a little bit of salt. That salt helps bring those sweet flavors out, and it doesn't necessarily make them salty, but salt really highlights all of the flavors. Mix that up a little bit. Get it incorporated as well. Now we're going to add in some of our dry ingredients. So the first part of our triple chocolate is brewed cocoa powder. This makes the chocolate cookie part actually chocolate. And then we're going to add a little bit of flour. 2½ cups of flour. Now we're just going to mix this until it comes together. If we mix it too long or too fast, it makes the cookies kind of tough. And we're looking for something just nice and decadent and just kind of crumbles in your mouth. Nice and slow, just let it come together. Yeah, when we're doing what we call quick doughs like this, we don't want to mix it. The more you mix it, it activates the gluten, and then it becomes more bready and And it's a natural thing that happens when you are using flour. The more you mix it, the more the gluten comes out and that structure is developed. Now we're just going to scrape the sides down just to make sure it's all gets mixed in. Sometimes with these mixers, with this paddle at the very bottom, it won't mix all the way through. We want it to be nice and evenly incorporated. Okay, the last step we're going to do is the rest of our chocolate stuff. So we've got some semi-sweet chocolate chips going in for our second part of our chocolate. And then we've got some white chocolate chips as well. That's our third part of the chocolate trio. And then some toffee pieces. These are like Score candy bars. You can just mash them up and it just gives it a nice caramely flavor. And now we're just going to mix this all together, get it evenly incorporated. There we go. Pull this out so you can see that mix. Now, if you're at home, you always got to lick the spatula and the mixer blades, because that's the treat for the kids too. Now we're just going to scoop these out. One of the tricks that we use here in the dining room to get consistent, even cookies, ice cream scooper. This way you can create whatever size that you want, but they're all pretty universally the same size. Just do a quick dozen here. Another great recipe to do with these cookies is get some of your favorite ice cream. Let it just kind of temper a little bit. Scoop it in between big fat ice cream sandwiches. Now we're going to go into the oven for 8 to 10 minutes at 350, and halfway through we're going to rotate, just because sometimes the oven has a little bit different temperatures, some hot spots, what we call them, and that way it cooks really nice and evenly. After 8 minutes of baking, this is what you get. Beautiful, decadent, triple chocolate Stephanie cookie.